Welcome to the Porn Reboot Podcast, where you get practical tips to gaining control over your porn or sex addiction. We help ambitious men end their out-of-control sexual behavior with pornography, sex, and masturbation so that you can maximize your life, perform at your potential, and remain in control in the driver's seat, which is where you have to be in order to gain or maintain the success you want in life. I'm your host, J.K. Emezi, certified sex and porn addiction recovery coach. Welcome to the episode. At Porn Reboot, we believe that compulsive sexual behavior needs to be tackled in a holistic way. We address not just your habits, but any traumatic events that have impacted you in your life. We also address co-occurring disorders, addictions, and habits, as well as limiting beliefs. So in order to best serve our clients, we've curated and brought together some of the best professionals in their fields to coach and support you through your reboot journey. In certain episodes, we'll be sharing some excerpts from our coaches' sessions, and I hope that you find these helpful.
So, hey everyone, here I have James. He's coming off the implementation program, and he's willing to share his experience and wins that he had gone throughout the time in the reboot process. So James, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came across the program actually?
Yes, so I am 29 and I was familiar with JK's videos for the last, I think, 5 years or so. And so I joined the implementation group back in December of 2022. And when I first joined, I just remember being at a point in my career where I really wanted a lot of things, but there were so many hiccups. And I thought that this behavior was just one of the things that was holding me back. And I had always been, passively watching JK's videos and trying to implement a lot of the things that he was saying with regards to self-esteem, with regards to routine. And I reached a point where I realized I can't do it alone. And I just bit the bullet and signed up for a call. And I got on a call with the reboot strategist, David. And I just remember getting on the call with him and how reassuring he was. And from there, I joined the implementation group and I haven't looked back. But I will be honest, the first time that I joined, when I immediately joined, I said, what am I doing? And I just said, look, this is the opportunity that you have to actually attain freedom. And so I trusted the system. I trusted everybody at Elevated Recovery, and man, has everything changed.
Man. Thank you for sharing, brother. That doubt always creeps in, right? It's like, it freaks out your ego or your addict side that you're doing something about it. And just going into the program, it could be daunting, right? It could be like, damn, it could feel like is this the right choice or not? But as you said, it was the right choice. In the long term, right now, you could say, oh man, or laugh at it like, oh yeah, it was a great decision to pull the trigger on. But when you came into the program, James, how was you mentioned damn, well, you had some doubt, but what led to your momentum? What was the tool, or what did you like in the beginning of the program that got you sticking around?
The community, for sure. I just remember, so the first thing that happens when you join is you make a post to the group, just introducing yourself. And when I introduced myself, immediately there were all these people telling me welcome and, basically just sharing the similar experiences that they've had. And there's a community of disciplined, ambitious men, and along with coaches. And you'll find that the reboot heroes reach out to you regularly just to see where you're at, what you're doing. And that kind of cultivates a community for accountability. And as a result of that, I got great accountability partners who we built a schedule around, just checking with each other weekly, daily. And from there, you really build a lifestyle that is centered around tools, self-awareness, and action taking. And so if I had to say one particular thing, is just joining the weekly coaching calls with Dr. Rankin, Dr. Eastman, Milan, as well as Orestes' hot seat calls, and also Chris's breaking the cycle calls. All of those together, they produce the best results, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, man. No, thanks for the shout out. No, you're right. A lot of it is when you come in, we do give you the royal welcome, if you will. And just knowing that your behavior, you're not alone. Look, there's other people. I use humor, right? Look, you're not the only one that touches himself. There's other people that do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that feeling is like, oh, okay, cool. It kind of lessens the shame, doesn't it? It's like this behavior thrives in secrecy. And then when you're like, oh, this guy struggles like I do, and you're like, oh, I could show more compassion towards myself and forgive myself, and then kind of do the work, right? Like you mentioned the coaching calls. And which particular call was like your go-to? Which one did you enjoy going the most, or that helped you the most in your reboot?
I would definitely say Dr. Eastman's because, well, I was able to actually schedule some like one-on-one coaching with her. And what she kind of really like revealed to me is that some of the things that I was dealing with were problems with just coping with strong emotions. And one of the things that became like readily apparent early on in my reboot, just from doing the morning routines, was that I was waking up with feelings of anxiety. And that's been something that has basically followed me since I was an early teen, adolescent. And with her help, I was able to identify like, oh, what are the beliefs that are motivating this? What are the things that are triggering this anxiety? And how have I been dealing with it? How do I expand my capacity to feel those emotions so that I can actually do something about it and also to process them? So I would definitely say Dr. Eastman's calls were extremely instrumental, but also I got to give credit to those other calls too. Milan is going to definitely get credit for just giving me the right outlook on how to tackle and address problems with self-image, problems with motivation. It's actually more than motivation. I realize motivation is just like kind of a drug, but it's self-image, really. Once that changes, everything else basically flows from there. And Dr. Rankin was definitely helpful in addressing some of the limiting beliefs that I have had about forgiveness, about self-compassion, and things of that nature.
Man, awesome share, brother. Thank you. And yes, Dr. Eastman, shout out to her. She's really good at what she does. And she really does give you the space to like say what's on your mind.
Absolutely.
And she'll be like, you know what? Why did you skip that over? Right? She'll call you out on it. You'll be like, oh shit, I don't know. I'm not used to sharing this part of my life. But it's really good or refreshing to know that, hey, this anxiety or whatever sensation you feel at the time, it is really driven by, it's like a mechanism of like protection. Like I'm using this to protect you from something. If you really feel this, we perceive that we might die. So let's not feel it. So it's kind of interesting to, the brain, it will use the body to protect you or distract you rather. That's a very interesting, like the takes that we learn throughout the reboot process. But no, brother, that's a great share. Thank you. And so as you were navigating through the reboot process, so implementing all this, what you learned from the coaches and accountability, how has that affected your personal life in regards to like career, health, or any other area, reboot capital that you've been working on?
Absolutely. I will say this much. Like originally, you think that you're struggling with this specific behavior, but then you come to realize that what's really standing in the way is your definition of yourself. And so what the group was able to do for me was show me that I had every right and I should give myself permission to be the person that I want to be. And one of the first things that occurred to me was early in the reboot is, okay, I have to go and sort out what is my definition. I had to define what it is that I want to be. It's always been there, but no one has really given me the time, or I haven't even given myself the opportunity to sit down and not have a vague understanding, but clear and distinct. And from there, what ended up occurring was I started to really get up every day and journal and write out like how I see myself. As you were pointing out in the beginning, you think it's about one thing, but then you come to realize that all of these aspects of your life go into the behavior. So I'd say that for one thing, I'm in a particular situation because I've kind of signed on to absolutely everything that Elevated Recovery does or that JK does, because I'm in Optimum U, I'm in 20s Mentor, and in those programs. And what you realize is that in order to really build the life that you want, you have to tackle each and every one of these specific issues. And you can do it through seasons, you can do it through implementation, but all in all, what this program has done for me is given me the tools to see what it is that I'm struggling with. And then from there, a belief and an identity that allows me to just charge right through it, while at the same time staying aware and processing things. But financially, I've learned the principles and I've been building more financial stability. Physically, before I came into the group, I had a workout routine, but with the help of Coach Seamus and Optimum U, I've been able to really find a sustainable routine so that I'm growing, thriving, energetic, things of that nature. And then career-wise, JK has given me personal advice on how to grow myself. And it's just been absolutely holistically a fantastic experience. And I couldn't imagine at the beginning of this that this would be where I could be, that this was a possibility.
Nice. Dang. So yeah, everything has as a result of building your confidence, right? I feel like you got your confidence back and just like you went, what's that word? Ham? You went ham on all these things, which is great, right? Because again, the behavior feels like it's not a big deal, but then you start to notice like each year is the same. And you're like, shit, like, what am I doing? So like the fact that you just went like wholeheartedly in this process, yeah, it makes sense that you had this progress that you're experiencing. You put in the work. While it may seem like, yeah, it was like, when we share these things, it could feel like it was no big deal. But actually, it's a very big deal because there are struggles, right? You probably could recall an urge where it was like, damn, how am I not like slipping right now, right? It's like, it's interesting like to destroy those beliefs or that we're just so used to because we never question them. We just take it as face value. So that's right. Really good to hear, man. Like that you're just like, hey, I'm a go all in. And I feel like that is the right mindset. Because if you do it half-assed, if you half-ass the reboot system, you're going to get half-ass results, right? That's good that you just like said, hey, hell no, I'm just going to like, hey, I'm going to trust the people. And we appreciate that from you, man. So I like that you're very coachable and that you trust us because we do care about you guys and we want you guys to, rewire and just live your life as James would like to, right? And it looks different for everyone. As you notice, right? When you see those people in the group.
Yes, it's one of the things that's amazing about this group is you get a chance to define for yourself what your life is going to be like. And of course, you have great examples from like you, Orestes, from Chris, from JK, of course, from the reboot strategist, Han, David, Gasper. But ultimately, it's you who's going to define that. And what that really gives you is autonomy and freedom because you really get a chance to see, oh, wait, hold on a second. This is not about me fitting into some ready-made mold or whatever. This is really about me taking control of my life. In doing that, what you realize is, wow, I'm not going to let anything really determine who I can be, including this behavior. So it's all around, like, it instills freedom in you.
Nice. Well said. And brother, any other win that sticks out to you that you want to share with the brothers here?
There are so many, but I want to be as humble as possible, but I guess, yeah, just my days, the way that they're structured have just been absolutely geared around living my truth. And so I'm able to, without shame, dedicate myself to my work completely, without shame, dedicate myself to my relationships, family, career. And it's very hard to put a still picture on it. It's more like a constellation. It's just like the galaxies have aligned and you're living the life that you want to live. So I can't identify one star. It's a collection of things.
I like that. I never really heard it put that way. And I agree with that. Because you're right. There isn't just one win. It's just there's little wins that led to this win, if you will. So that's pretty good, man. I love that. And I see it, bro. Like I feel like the calls that we got on throughout the year, it's like you're constantly like, hey, what's the next thing I could work on, right? What's the next thing? And then you do it, and then you see like, wow, it actually works. But that's so cool to see because it's like, and then like you kind of mentioned, you living in your truth, which is you're doing your work, your career, right? Not to share too much on that, but you're actually going again wholeheartedly on these things with no shame, which is I love to see that because that means you could speak from a place of like truth and passion. And that's always attractive. Like, I like that. So that's something that I always cherish when people get to that state, because I remember when I got there, it's like, oh yeah, I could speak and I don't have to like put a mask on, if you will, in order to
Hmm.
be liked. And because that's all what we really did and in our behavior, we were afraid to own our power. And
Hmm.
it's okay, we're still working on it, right? But just that awareness is like, wow, I could actually do something about it. And that's where the coaches and even the brothers that share in the group reveal a lot about yourself too, right? Because it's
Hmm.
like, whoa, like I'm literally going through that same exact problem, and
Hmm.
we tend to like make our problems unique, and it's not really. We're all human. We all experience
That's right.
human emotions. It's really our beliefs and philosophies too. Like, and I like the self-image part that you mentioned early. So moving forward, James, what are you looking forward to in your life now?
Like I said, it's a collection of things, but really just being free of distraction. And what I mean by that is, with this behavior, one of the things that you realize is that it closes you off from actually being aware of the things that you want. And it's a maladaptive coping mechanism. That's all it really is. It's not anything really shameful per se, but it's just something that's a blockage from everything that you want to be. And so for me, right now, the next thing is really financial, which I've been actually able to make some significant progress in this year, but continuing to see what it is that I'm capable of. And that's really the thing. I think you fall in love with potential, but also you fall in love with the process of
Mm.
taking action. So it's not only to think of yourself, I could be this, where that's just a different form of masturbation, but you also say, I will be this. I will do this. And so I'm just looking forward to the continued mind shift change, the continued action taking, and also just the skills to be able to share these things with brothers that come behind, or I shouldn't say behind, but brothers who are with us in this struggle. So yeah, that's what I look forward to.
I like that, man. You're right. Yeah, man, I could be this and that. It's like you're right. It's a form of fantasy, right? And it's
Right.
basically like you should snap your rubber band if you're doing that. And that's a very good point. And falling in love with the process, man. I love that. That's a really great reminder. And I was gonna ask this question, but I have a feeling it'll be the same, perhaps answer you'll give. But I'm asking anyway. So, brother, what would you tell someone that's like listening to this? Like, I resonate with James here. I have the doubts. I know I'm in this I should do this, just kind of fantasizing being rebooted, but they're not. They're just like contemplating. What would you tell that brother to encourage him?
I would tell them I was in a similar position maybe 4 years ago, and the time is now, if anything. There's no need to delay. The people at Elevated Recovery will take care of you. And also, like, the more time that you spend contemplating is less time you really have for living your truth. And so, like, you really realize your authenticity when you have the end or death in mind, I guess you could say. I don't want to be morbid, but you start to realize, okay, I have a finite amount of time on earth and I have to be this person that I want to be. And the more I procrastinate is the more I disrespect that authenticity. And I have to go and seek help wherever I can, because there's nothing wrong with getting help. And that's one of the things that I learned in the beginning. I think I was very prideful, and that's where some of the shame comes from, thinking I should be able to deal with this by myself. I shouldn't, have to do this. But without, getting the help that you need, which is an act of self-care, you're not going to end up being the person that you want to be. And so to me, I always looked at JK. I just always admired him from afar, physique wise, composition wise, delivery. And I just said to myself, well, if I am going to ever approach this ideal, it best be now. So my thing is, brothers, do not wait, do not hesitate, but also do not shame yourself or feel bad for contemplating, but do take action. That's what implementation is all about.
Damn, bro. That's a sweet ending, right there. I really love that. That's so good. And I like what you said about procrastination. You're disrespecting, man, yourself. It's the truth. So thank you, James, for your awesome testimonial here. I'm sure brothers will resonate with this. And for those of you watching, hey, like the time is now. Why will you wait? Stop contemplating and take the action now and experience some freedom. right? And learn more about yourself. And that's why we're here. We've all fooled ourselves in the past thinking we are in truth, but in reality, we're just lying to ourselves. We're in deep denial. So let us help you get to that state of rebooted and rewire your brain. So brothers, thank you for listening. And James, thank you, brother.
Thank you, Orestes.
All
Much
right.
love.
Much love.
I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Porn Reboot Podcast. I'll speak to you later on in the week. If you found this episode helpful, here are 4 ways I can help you with your out-of-control sexual behavior for free. The first way is to grab a free copy of my book, Confessions of a Porn Addict, 7 Secrets of Porn-Free Men at elevatedrecovery.org, or visit the link in the description below this episode. The second way is, if you're not sure where to start, but you'd like to learn more about my team and I, if you'd like to spend time with like-minded professionals and business owners who are controlling their behavior, then join our free and confidential group, the Porn Reboot Group on Facebook. There's a link to join in the description below this episode. The third way is if you need help right now because you have a burning issue, your behavior with pornography is hurting you mentally or emotionally, you're about to lose your relationship, you want to live up to your potential, be an authentic man, and free yourself from shame, guilt, and underachieving, then click on the link in the description below this episode that says free coaching call. And the fourth way is to leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy this podcast, so that we can reach more men who are struggling in silence and bring back the lessons we learn from coaching them to freedom.